When the first consumer-grade virtual reality headsets came out in the first half of 2016, there were plenty of chatter about the cost of a premium virtual reality setup. At the time, an HTC Vive or Oculus Rift, along with the necessary computer hardware to run VR, ran to a figure in the region of a few $1,000s. Luckily, since then, graphic cards have become immeasurably powerful and the cost of owning a VR-ready PC have dropped significantly. Last year, however, the headsets themselves have also come down in price. First, Oculus announced a summer deal, then HTC followed, and most recently, Sony also cut the price on its PSVR headsets. Now VR has become more accessible for us average consumers. With the introduction of Oculus Quest and Oculus Link last year, VR has taken a whole new level. And having owned the HTC Vive and recently the Oculus Quest, in my opinion, it is totally worth the money spent if you purchase it in 2020. So subscribe to stay updated and let me convince you in today's video why 2020 is a good year to take that first step into VR. First off, I want to say that for $400 to $500 and getting to experience gaming from a whole new perspective is actually quite worthwhile. I mean, if you need a more powerful graphics card, you only need to add another $350 to $400 for RTX 2060 Super, and you are good to go for both VR and desktop gaming. And at a total of $800, it is significantly cheaper than say going on a trip abroad or owning or building a 4K gaming rig. And if you're not into PC gaming, you can easily get a PSVR for $300 if you already own a PS4, or Oculus Quest for $400 without ever needing to build a powerful rig. Next, for the VR technology itself, it has improved significantly compared to when I first tried it 10 years ago. Panel display resolution per eye are a lot higher, delivering sharper and crisper images, and refresh rates range from 75 to 120 in premium models. This allows a more immersive and beautiful VR experience while also reducing the chances of experiencing motion sickness. And talking about motion sickness, it reminded me of the first time when I tried VR, where I vomited halfway through the game at a department store. And I have to say, the technology has improved so much that now my playtime is only limited by the hours spent in VR games with local motion. The other recent development in VR is the ditching of tracking base stations for Oculus's and HTC headsets. This makes setting up and jumping into VR so much more simple and streamlined. You no longer need to worry about having to run long wires around your play area and or drilling holes in your walls to mount the stations to ensure the best tracking. And not to mention that those stations also use up a lot of your USB ports. In addition to not having tracking base stations, the move to wireless play by Oculus via their Quest headset and HTC via their wireless adapter provides the freedom to play without having any wires attached, which is freaking awesome. Although this technology is still in its infant stages due to streaming content without any lag wirelessly will require a lot of bandwidth and currently is not very cost effective. Just take a look at HTC's wireless adapter price tag of $250. But perhaps in the near future, all headsets will be wireless at affordable costs. When it comes to portability, the Oculus Quest shines in this category. Having only 3 pieces and not needing to be tethered to a PC or console, you can easily bring your headset anywhere and play with it. This is useful when you want to bring your VR to a party or introduce to a friend who is unsure about VR technology. And another useful function of being untethered is that if your play space in your room is quite small, you can move to a bigger empty space and fully enjoy room-scale VR experiences such as Super Hot and Arizona Sunshine without moving your whole rig. Next, let's talk about the selection of games available now. Back in 2016, most available games were mostly shooter and tech demos with only a handful of outstanding games like Super Hot VR and Raw Data. However, at the time of writing this script, that handful of outstanding games has grown over the years and we now have quite a huge selection of full-scale VR games from genres other than shooters such as Beat Saber, Asgard's Wrath,
My vengeance.
and Half-Life Alyx. And on top of that, Most games deliver replayability and are priced at around only $10 to $40. Having spent a considerable amount of time with both the Vive and the Quest, I personally prefer the freedom and setup simplicity offered by the Oculus Quest. I could just put it on and start playing right away. However, the downside is its limited battery life, which lasts only around 2.5 hours before having to plug in the cable to continue playing. And now, with the launch of Oculus Link, you now have access to higher graphics fidelity rendered by your computer on its beautiful OLED screen should you choose so, and most games purchased for the Quest via the Oculus Store can also be downloaded again for free on your PC for a higher quality graphic experience. But as it's still in its beta stage, sometimes there are still bugs here and there. Also, I would like to add here regarding the ditching of tracking base stations, that even though it is super convenient, sometimes the tracking does become inaccurate, especially under low light conditions or when you move your hands too far away from the built-in sensors. So if you plan to compete for global top scores in Beat Saber, then it will probably be better to use a headset with tracking base stations. At the end of the day, if you are wondering which headset to get, I personally would recommend the Oculus Quest over the HTC Vive in terms of the value you will get for the price. But getting your hands on one will be quite difficult at the moment because many retailers are out of stock. But if money is not an issue, I would also cheer the Valve Index and Vive Cosmos Elite as they have the latest VR tech specs and are getting quite good reviews and user feedbacks. Alright, thank you as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button as it will help this channel more than you know it, and I'll see you again in the next video.